Silicon Valley is spending hundreds of billions of dollars on one of the biggest economic assumptions in modern technology, that AI will become powerful enough, useful enough, and cheap enough to replace a meaningful share of human work. That is the bet behind the whole AI infrastructure build-out. Because if AI can substitute for labor at scale, then its addressable market is not just software, it is the labor market itself. But a flurry of research from Federal Reserve economists is starting to complicate that assumption. They went looking for an economy-wide labor shock, and so far, they have not found one. The St. Louis Fed found no clear evidence that industries with higher AI adoption are losing jobs faster. The Richmond Fed found that firms are using AI primarily to improve efficiency, not cut workers. And a survey of 734 corporate executives found that the expected near-term employment effect from AI across the economy is less than 0.5%. Corporate America is currently not behaving the way Silicon Valley's labor replacement story predicted. That gap between what the capital assumes and what the data shows is what the story is about. Let's unpack this. To understand the impact of AI, we should first look at what the research actually says. In fact, the first part of the evidence is exactly what Silicon Valley wants to hear. AI adoption is already broad. According to the St. Louis Fed, 43% of U.S. workers reported using AI for their jobs in early 2026. The same study estimated that 5.2% of all U.S. work hours were already being spent using AI, more than double the UK share, more than triple Germany's. That matters because the AI build-out only works if the tools move from demos into daily work. Real demand begins when companies route actual tasks through AI, writing, coding, research, customer support, and reporting. If workers are using AI during the workday, the first condition of the infrastructure boom is being met. AI is no longer just a product people try, it is becoming part of how work gets done. And there is an early productivity signal. The St. Louis Fed found that industries with higher AI adoption have experienced faster productivity growth. A 10 percentage point increase in worker AI adoption was associated with 2.9 percentage points of additional cumulative productivity growth from late 2022 through the third quarter of 2025. The pattern holds across both US and European data. The authors are careful. The estimate is not causal, but the consistency across different datasets makes a purely coincidental explanation harder to sustain. Then comes the more important problem. The labor replacement signal is much harder to find. The St. Louis Fed ran the same exercise for employment that it ran for productivity. They found no clear evidence that AI adoption was associated with either job gains or job losses at the industry level in the US or Europe. And this is not a recent snapshot. The Yale Budget Lab has tracked the same question since ChatGPT launched in November 2022. Across 35 months, measures of AI exposure show no sign of being related to changes in employment or unemployment. The Richmond Fed found a similar pattern from the firm side. 70% of respondent firms they surveyed were providing employees with AI tools. More than half were using AI in business operations. But firms were mostly using AI for task-level work, drafting text, summarizing notes, generating graphs. When firms explained why they were adopting AI, the main answer was not headcount reduction, it was efficiency. That distinction matters. There is a significant economic difference between AI that helps a worker finish a task faster and AI that allows a company to remove the worker entirely. One improves productivity, the other turns payroll into compute. The Center for Economic Policy Research reaches a similar conclusion. In a survey of 734 senior financial executives, most of them corporate CFOs, firms expected AI to reduce employment across the economy by less than 0.4% in 2026. At the aggregate level, the headcount story is still not materializing. By the way, if you want to understand where the AI economy is actually showing up in the data, that is what we break down every week in our newsletter, ARPU. To get that kind of analysis in your inbox, subscribe at the link in the description. But the aggregate number hides a shift underneath. By 2028, executives expect companies to need fewer workers doing routine clerical work, data entry, transaction processing, and basic document handling. Those roles are expected to shrink as a share of employment. At the same time, firms expect more demand for skilled technical workers who can build, manage, and apply these systems. So the near-term story is not mass job destruction, it's labor market recomposition. Fewer routine support roles, more technical and AI-adjacent roles, and a changing mix of tasks inside the jobs that remain. This also means labor displacement is likely to show up first in specific tasks and exposed roles, not as an economy-wide employment shock. The economics help explain why. Replacing a worker is not the same as speeding up a task. For AI to become a true labor substitute, it has to deliver the same output with enough reliability at a lower total cost. And that's where the current model gets complicated. Generative AI is not a conventional piece of software with a fixed cost per user. It's a usage-metered system that produces answers probabilistically. The more complex the task, the more prompts, context, retries, checks, and human supervision it often requires. The result is token usage, and token usage means cost. That's why some companies are already running into budget limits. Uber reportedly burned through its 2026 AI coding budget in 4 months. Microsoft pulled back engineers' access to an AI tool because the bills were too large. This is the missing piece in the displacement story. To replace payroll with compute, compute has to be cheaper than payroll. For many jobs at current prices and current reliability, that calculation still doesn't close. So, where does that leave us? The Fed research does not prove Silicon Valley is wrong about AI. It shows something more uncomfortable. The economy is not yet behaving as if labor has been replaced at scale. The tools are spreading. The productivity signal is getting stronger. Routine tasks are being reshuffled. But the headcount shock that would turn the labor market into AI's addressable market has not arrived. That makes the infrastructure boom a timing bet as much as a technology bet. AI has to become substitutive enough, cheap enough, and reliable enough before the capital cycle gets too far ahead of the evidence. For now, AI is not replacing the labor market. It is reorganizing the work inside it. And the next question, whether AI can turn productivity gains into real business returns, is what we go deep on every week in our newsletter, ARPU. To get that kind of analysis in your inbox, subscribe at the link in the description. Thanks for watching.